Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sit Downs with City Lifestyle Vegas Edition. I'm Camila Soler-Ray, and I have here today Nathania Park. She is a board-certified nurse practitioner and the owner of NoBe Wellness. It's a beautiful, wonderful med spa located in Summerlin. Welcome, Nathania.
Thank you.
So happy that you're here today joining us. And I'm just in awe of the incredible work that you do at your spa. And I want you to share with us and our viewers and followers your vision behind the med spa, how you got started, and what led you to start this practice. Because I understand that you were a nurse at a hospital and for the geriatric population. So this was like a huge transition, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so to become a nurse practitioner, you have to practice as a registered nurse for a period of time, at least back in the day when I graduated. I think now you can go straight through. But I started my career in the ICU. And so I dealt with very sick people who were dying a lot of the times, end of their life care. And then as a nurse practitioner, I've done like a bunch of different things. I've done endocrinology, I've done hospice, I've done women's health, and most recently geriatrics. And so I love to learn new things. So that's one of the things I'm switching because I'm always like, okay, what's next? What am I doing next? And during the pandemic, I think we saw a lot of death, a lot of hardship for humanity. And I wanted to do something that felt that was restorative to people, not just chasing disease that seemed to like not ever end. Mm-hmm. And so my husband and I talked about it. And I think that beauty and aesthetics had always kind of like bubbled up in my life a little bit, but I was very resistant to it. And it was at that point in my life that I was like open to it and was like, let's look at this. And so it took about a year of like planning and looking at it and learning and immersing myself into that. And my biggest goal was to have a space that felt welcoming and nourishing for people. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't want it to feel shallow and like cookie cutter. I wanted people to really just kind of come in and just be able to like just breathe and relax and trust that they were going to be in a safe space that was going to honor and respect who they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm one of your clients, and and I just, I had resistance to a lot of things, which I will dive here into because I have some questions regarding that. But I do want to tell you that your spa really reflects that safe space. Like you guys have really created something special. And the smell, like the scent that you guys choose to have mm-hmm. just permeates throughout the hallways. So every time I step out of the elevator and I'm like, oh, this smells like NoBe. Right. And I love it. I love being there and I love being your client and everything that you do for me and for everybody. So tell us, what was your resistance with this industry?
Well, I'll tell you a story. So years ago, I remember I was walking with my husband and we were at the casinos and a woman who was selling like a skincare product, like looked at me and she's like, this cream is, I don't remember what exactly she said, but she insulted me in the way that she said it. And she hurt my feelings. And I'm like, well, geez, Louise, like what a rude way to approach something that women are probably sensitive to. Yeah. We get a lot of messaging to look a particular way. And it felt shallow to me. It felt like I wanted to make sure that I'm not sending a message out there that you need to fix your face, because I think that is problematic. And so that was my resistance to it. It's like, how can I approach this with integrity and respect for people's faces? And also, I really want to make sure that I don't create like these robot faces that like...
Yeah, because that was my resistance of getting some of the treatments that mm-hmm. you offer, right? It's like having the pillow face. Is that what it's called?
They can, like an overfilled face can be called a pillow face. But in aesthetics, there is a level of mathematical formulations, right? When we look at a face, there is some degree of that. And most people who do this are scientists, right? Like we learn the science. We're maybe not so much quite artistic. And so if you just look at a face scientifically and not artistically, then you kind of just like copy and paste things. And that's where we can really get ourselves into trouble, because if you don't respect their
aesthetics,
their face anatomy, and to create something that's flattering for their unique face, that's where you can create a look that just looks like everybody else. I think that that's a very unattractive look.
Oh, for sure. And if you look at Hollywood, you see so many of the same nose. Right? You don't even have to go as far as Hollywood, like even in our community, right? Unfortunately, sometimes I go to places and women all look alike, of the same group, like same nose, same mouth, same lips, same hair, same eyes, same everything.
And I want to make sure that I honor every woman and every choice that she's making. And if that's right for her, that's right for her. But I do think that my goal at NoBe is to make sure that I am elevating you to look like you, so that when people look at you, they see like, wow, you look really great. Not, oh my goodness, you really changed a lot in the work that you did. And I've seen that. I mean, I have a friend who had a surgical work, and I have a hard time recognizing her. She looks so different that I'm like, wow. And I'm proud of her, and I'm happy for her that she's happy, but she's hard for me to, because I'm like, my friend changed quite dramatically.
Yeah. So tell us about the procedures and treatments that you have over there.
Yeah. So another thing that I wanted to make sure that I incorporated is I think that healthy skin matters a lot. And so if we're only focusing on one area of aging, that's when like you tend to look more weird. So I definitely combine esthetician services. So Marissa's the esthetician there, and I love all kinds of like laser service and collagen stimulation. I think is a really important aspect of it. And then for sure I do all the injectable aspects. So your neurotoxin, I have like Daxify and Botox and fillers, different kinds of fillers to restore volume, biostimulants such as Sculptra to help kind of your own body do some of the work. We do a lot of hair restoration services as well, and we delve into the IV world as well.
And the IV, what's your most popular one?
Probably NAD.
NAD.
I would say that is and right now the immunity is pretty popular as well.
For the season, you mean, the winter?
Yeah. Okay. People, getting colds, traveling, there's a lot of things going on. I just went to Phoenix to see my family, and it was kind of funny because like we were all getting IVs there. We're all sitting drinking our coffee in the morning with our IVs going because we were pushing ourselves way too much, and it made such a difference. I was
really?
like, ooh, everybody's like, oh my God, I feel restored. Just when you're around family and busy, you're probably not drinking enough water, you're not sleeping like you should or eating like you should, so it really just kind of helped.
Awesome. How has Botox changed in the past? I don't know. How long has Botox been around for aesthetic purposes? Because I remember in Brazil back in the, I think, early 2000s, maybe, that I have a friend who got like Botox on her forehead, and she hadn't said anything, and I had never heard of that. I think it was just starting, and we were going on a trip, and I looked at her, I'm like, wow, she looks so different. And then she couldn't move her forehead, right? Yeah. So she said, it's Botox. I just got it. And she had a lot of lines, and they disappeared. That was the difference. How has Botox changed? Like the formulation, from when it started till now? I think it's great to give people that insight.
So definitely Botox was not used initially in aesthetics. But like most things, when we realize that there is a different use to something, then it's like, ooh. So they used it for many medical aspects before. It's still used today for migraines in much heavier doses. They use it for like the bladder. They can inject it in the bladder for people who have overactive bladder. So it does have a lot of medical indications for it, and that's where it originated. So for sure, when people were getting it for their headaches, it's like, wow, I look like really good. My lines disappear. So I really like this, how it's making me feel. So then it became in its cosmetic use. But I would say, Botox formulation is not necessarily what's changed, but there's other brands that have entered the market that have different ways or different duration maybe of treatment. And
composition maybe?
Right, yeah. And they all kind of like work a little bit differently. It's important for the injector, you can't possibly, or you could maybe, but it wouldn't be ideal to use like all the brands, right? So you kind of stick to the brands that you know and you're comfortable with, and you know kind of what their spread is, and you become very comfortable in using them.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would say though is that because the longer we use a product, the more comfortable we become on like getting different treatment results. So for example, I think that when we were first starting out, we maybe were freezing faces completely. And there's
when you say we,
the aesthetic community,
okay.
like when we were,
let's get that really like cleared up, right?
No,
Because I don't want anybody to have like the wrong impression of your work.
Yeah, thank you. No, I mean the aesthetic community was just like, because just like anything, there is trends in what we do on treatments for the face, and a very frozen face was popular for a period of time, and I think that was more popular when it first began to be used. And I think that right now it's a little more trendy to do something to soften. We want to soften things, but we don't want to do such intense treatments that we're completely eliminating, because that limits your humanity and ability to connect with other people. So I just saw a celebrity kind of doing an interview, and she looked a little weird because there was like absolutely no movement in her face. And you can actually look on TV. If you look at TV from the like 90s, the movies, the most beautiful actresses, they have a full range of expression. Yeah. And if you see more recently, even in the local news, sometimes you're like, wow, there's like no movement there.
They can barely talk.
Yeah. Or some weird like lip situation happening and stuff. And so we want to have respect for the anatomy, I think, and make sure that we are softening those lines, because if the lines become permanently etched into your face, like they're harder to treat in time. So sometimes we do kind of want to soften that, but maybe not make people look weird.
Yeah, I love that approach. Have you ever had a client who has become addicted to like a frozen face, or really want to make sure that they don't move? Yeah. And when does that become like a mental health issue, right? Because we have body dysphoria. Is there such a thing as face dysphoria? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the very important things for me is like I always do a consultation before we're planning a treatment. And the consultation, I am trying to understand where the client's coming from, but I'm also looking for red flags. And I guess the easiest way for me to say this is if somebody has self-loathing of themselves, there's no amount of treatment that is going to fix that. And so I'm looking for that initially. Are we looking to solve a problem where like, hey, this line is bothering me, or like I really hate what I see when I see in the mirror?
Yeah.
And those are two different things. So if I detect that at the consultation, we're just really not going to even start treatment. Now,
okay. So you turn clients down.
Yes, I definitely will. If I sense that there is something, and I had a consultation that was like 2 hours because the person was sobbing in the room. Like it turned into a total mental health like situation. So it happens more frequently than you would think, actually. And yes, I will absolutely say, no, this is not the right thing. And then when somebody's already a client and they're doing work and I feel that they're losing perspective of their face, this is where my clinical judgment is really important to make sure that the client understands. It's like, you're not coming in here and telling me what I'm doing, right? I'm actually the one that's treating. So I need to make sure that I'm carrying that line of saying no when no is appropriate. No, you're doing too much. It's going to look weird. Somebody needs to say no to you. And that's a hard thing because as a business owner, like you see somebody wanting to spend, it's like, it can be enticing to just say yes to all the things, but it's really important, I think, to be able to look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day and know that I am doing what's best for them, even if that means no sometimes.
Yeah, and you're risking losing revenue. You're risking losing the client.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Right? That just goes to show how much integrity you have at what you do.
But I think that the delivery is important. I have not lost a client for that.
No, but you're risking.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think it's really important that in that aspect, in my experience, has led more to more trust with me because they realize like,
That's
she really does have my best interest at heart. And so I can really trust that. So in that client, I think it actually ends up strengthening the relationship. The first one that we spoke of that has significant mental health, like that's definitely like saying no, this is just not the right area for you.
So did you refer her out or did you ask her to go seek help? Or
Yeah, it was actually male.
Oh, it was a he.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the percentage of males and females that come to your office?
Definitely more female, for sure. I would say that for the males, it is a lot of times their wives are who
Oh, okay.
introduce them to the services. For the IVs, I would say it's more male for sure, but I think that as far as the aesthetic part, I would say like 70-30 towards females.
Okay, very good. And tell us about Morpheus, because it's kind of become a kind of a buzzword, right? So tell us a little bit about Morpheus, the treatment Morpheus. How long have you had this at NoBe?
Since the beginning. So we opened in 2023, and that was one of the treatments the laser treatments the machines that I initially had gotten. And so Morpheus is a radio frequency and microneedling device. It goes a little bit deeper than your typical microneedling pen, for example. And it's actually one of my favorite treatments. I will say that it has a bit of a bad rap. A lot of times people are getting bad things about it.
Oh my God, I've heard like so much
terrible things. And
people are like, "Are you sure you're gonna do it? Are you sure? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, leave me alone."
But I think it makes sense why it got that reputation for a couple things. Number one, it's actually like a medical treatment. So in a lot of states, you have to have no licensure. You can just be a random person, have no training, and just do this.
Really?
And you can do damage with this, right?
For sure.
So the FDA just issued a statement saying like, hey, this is a medical device. Like you can do damage. When I first opened NoBe, I was interviewing an estheticians, and this woman had come in and she had scarring all over her face.
Wow.
And she told me the story that the med spa that she was working at was owned by a non-medical person who bought a device in another country. And they got no training, and so they're like trying to practice, and she burned herself and scarred herself. So it's very important that we know that. Morpheus can ablate fat, meaning it can get rid of fat, which in certain areas is really nice, right? Like nobody really likes fat necessarily around here. So there's certain things that like it makes sense to do that. But if I ablate fat like right here, that's horrible. Like everybody needs this as much as possible. So you want to make sure that the person who's doing it knows what they're doing and why they're choosing the settings that they're choosing. And so, but with that being said, like I love it. Like we've seen some of the most amazing results from it because it is really causing really significant collagen stimulation, which is really great for your skin. Now, are you going to get a surgical result with a non-surgical treatment? No, I don't think that it's important to know that if you are looking to get a facelift done and that's something that go at it, go do that if that's the right choice for you. But if you're looking for to improve your skin and the quality of your skin and you want like non-surgical options, that's a great option for you.
I love that. Yeah. To each their own, right? To each their own.
Yeah.
And so I went to you, and the first thing we did was Sculptra.
Yeah.
So and it gave me a new chin. How is that possible? Like, what is the science behind Sculptra?
Yeah, I love Sculptra. So Sculptra is an interesting product. It actually came on the market to be used for HIV patients. So people who are having HIV, if anybody has ever seen them, they really lose a lot of fat on their face. And so the first thing you saw is like, oh my God, this person is diseased because it looked really abnormal on the face. So the idea was it was going to restore volume on the face. And then if just like anything else, we're like, hey, there is some aesthetic applications to that. And so that's where the aesthetic application of it is. And so it is going to it's going to make your own body do the work, right? So it's like introducing a molecule that's going to make your body produce more collagen. And so the nice thing about that is that it will restore volume in areas that have lost volume. And it doesn't do it quickly, right? So the hyaluronic acid fillers are going to be quick.
They're instant gratification.
Instant gratification. Sculptra is going to make your body do the work and take time to do that. So yeah, you would see like a slow, gradual volume improvement.
Restoration, if you may. Would that be a good word? So if you want to restore your structure, Sculptra is the way to go.
Yes. So as long as you're patient and willing to like wait for that result, I think it's a fantastic choice for that.
Very cool. Wow, wonderful. I always love listening to you because I always learn something new when we're talking. You are also very conscientious. We're going to start wrapping up the episode now. But I want people to know that you are very community oriented, right? So you have had several initiatives in the past year since we've been working together that I love. And your latest one is the Dear Me project with one of our greatest artists here in town, Janelle Rail. So tell us about the Dear Me project.
So self-love is something that I think is really important. And I think a lot of times I spend a lot of time with women and we're working through some of the aspects that can cloud that. And I think beauty is also really important. And I think beauty can come in all kinds of form, whether it's a space that we're sitting in, whether it's a face, whether it's clothing, whether it's art. And so I had the privilege of meeting Janelle, and I think that she's lovely. And so the idea was like, how can we introduce beautiful art into NoBe, but also deliver a message to the community at large about self-empowerment and beauty and feeling good about ourselves and how important that is, and honoring the journey that we've been through. And so we had this event. We have the art pieces at NoBe, and the Dear Me project is basically writing a message to your past or future self, hopefully a message of encouragement. And so it's interactive.
On mannequins that she turned into sculptures, right?
Yes, yes. And so you can come into NoBe and write your message to yourself, tag it on social media. And so they're available for anybody to come by and see. And I know that she's partnered with other businesses as well, and there's different little sculptures that she's got going on.
Okay.
And then, so the idea was like to partner with UNLV as well, the School of Nursing, to help support them and fund education which I think for me has been like one of the key improvements to my life is, creating the life that you want. I think education plays a big role.
Oh, for sure. And you're a testament to that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it for sure changed my life, and I love what I do. Like undoubtedly love, and I went to UNLV, so, and I'm raising my kids here, so I have a very vested interest in making sure that this community thrives.
Yeah, well, it's such an honor to promote your business, to be your client, and to be your friend, right? You have been one of the biggest highlights of my journey with City Lifestyle has been meeting you, and really making this relationship grow. So. Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for everything that you do, and to beautify and improve our self-confidence, right? Because I, for one, was like, I'm never getting any Botox. I'm never getting any rah, rah, rah. But then I'm like, if this bothers me so much, why not?
Yeah.
Right? And and my dad is so against Botox. He didn't even notice. Notice. Right. And so I trust you blindly, right? And so please tell us, where can people find you? Social media, your phone number, where you're located, so we can have the community reach out to you.
Yes, our website is nobewellness.org. Our phone number is 725-204-7251. We're on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok at NoBe Wellness Medspa.
And it's in Summerlin on Hualapai and Alta, correct?
That's correct.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. Are there any final messages that you would like to share with our followers in terms of, self-worth and self-confidence? Because I know you're big on that.
Yeah, I am big. I think that aging can be just such a beautiful thing. And my goal is for anybody who comes in to feel empowered to age in the way that most makes sense for them.
Beautiful. Oh, yes. And you should really follow Nathania on social media, because every day she's talking about aesthetics and self-confidence, self-worth. And she always has like all these pearls of wisdom, and they're very encouraging. And she keeps it real, people. You do keep things really real. So that's very refreshing. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later, guys. Thanks for watching.